Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we'll wait a few moments here as people get their notifications and that we're on. John, good morning. Numero uno, Jono. From Elgin, Illinois. Mike from Norland. Good morning. Rain, how are you? Nice to have you on. Rosa, Morial, and Tecumseh. Pam, good morning. Wendy from Markham. Good morning, Wendy. Carrie from Nebraska. Joy, good morning. Nativity, nice to have you on. Lori, Niagara Falls. Regina. And Michelle from Tennessee. Dubraca. Mary. And Dorothy. Fran from Orangeville. Good morning, Fran. Rita, good morning. Dawn, good morning. Zian and Jean, bonjour. Brenda, good morning. Yolande, bonjour. Jan and Catherine, Springdale, Newfoundland. Frida, 7 degrees in Devlin, Ontario. That's cold. Yvette, bonjour. Georgie, good morning. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Carolyn and Leela, Werner. Sue, good morning. Dave and Muriel and Fran from Valcarra. Luella, Tennessee. Bacon and eggs and coffee. Perfect. Patricia. Angela. Sundry, Alberta. Gina. Catherine, Parksville, British Columbia. David. We appreciate you guys. Katharina from Leamington. Karen, Brockville. Diane, good morning. Georgette, hello. Joy from Warminster. Lucy and Maggie, Florida. Good morning, Florida. Coppercliff, Julie. Norma, Texas. Jojo, how are you? Julie. We appreciate you guys more than you know. More than you know. And Marlene. Thanks, guys. Daphne. Linda. Okay, a couple more. Here we go. And Brenda. Good morning. Tracy from Vancouver. Good morning, Tracy. Denise. Jen. And Nicole. Karen, good morning. Now, this came out, and Deb from Detroit, don't want to miss you. Newfoundland, Mount Pearl, Carol, you guys are great. Lucy from North Bay, we appreciate you guys so much. Now, this came out in the last week. In the USA, it's a frightening statistic. Already diabetic. 133 million Americans are diabetic. Yikes. Yikes. And listen to this. The cost annually for everyone on average, okay? Here's the cost to the healthcare system in the United States. Now remember, Canada's no different. When you look at statistics coming out of the USA, multiplied by 10, the United States is 10 times bigger than Canada. So that's all you do, just multiply by 10. 133 million Americans. Cost annually of $16,752 per person to the healthcare system. The problem with diabetes, is food. Okay? And medicine, okay? Medicine's problem, you don't cure diabetes in the hospital or with medications. You don't cure diabetes with that. You cure it in the kitchen. Diabetes, pre-diabetes, metabolic syndrome, 93% of the population. I used to say 88, it's now 93. So it's not getting better. Now let me make an overarching statement. It's going to be an overarching statement that you guys understand. Okay? Why in North America are we so fat and sick? The twin towers of disease, diabetes. Why? Well, it's very simple. In my opinion, the overarching principle is this, okay? And I wrote this down. The food industry pays no attention to your health. There's two big industries. The food pays no attention to your health, and big pharma pays no attention to food. Those are the overarching principles. And figure it out. Big food, they don't care about your health. Otherwise, they put warning labels. You know what the government did to cigarettes? Go and buy a package of cigarettes today. They got warning labels on there. Don't eat. No, don't smoke. Why? And they spell it out right on the package. I mean, do you think the tobacco industry liked that? Of course they didn't. And they tried to fight it. They tried to fudge research and lie through their teeth about how bad smoking was. But the food industry pays no attention to your health. It doesn't. They don't care about your health. They care about sales. And they have a whole science department into making food that, like, they find the sweet spot for taste and addiction. They're like drug dealers, guys. And you know what? It's the way it is. I have no optimism that we're going to change it, you and I. We're not going to change it, but we need to be aware of it. If you understand it, that goes a long way. So big food has no interest in your health. And here we are looking at a statistic like that today, and 133 million Americans. It's worse than that, because they're talking about diabetes. I'm talking about metabolic syndrome, which is high blood pressure, which is belly fat, which is inflammation, which is high triglycerides and low HDL, high levels of uric acid, blah, 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 blah. Those are high A1C. You're in trouble with metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is you're on the Titanic. And 93% of the population is on the Titanic. The overarching principle is big food don't care. And big pharma knows nothing about food. So when Big Pharma looks at diabetes, here's what they think. I'm not saying they're not good people in there. I'm not. But it's management. It's management. You have a condition, we have medications. We have metformin, we have insulin, we have all these things that will help you to manage a disease like diabetes. We'll manage it. And you don't cure diabetes, but you can sure put it into remission. You can put it into remission. And guys, the food industry and Big Pharma, medicine, they have their gurus out there in food. Okay? Their gurus tell you, if you're a diabetic, well, you better eat in moderation. When the truth is, you need to not be into moderation, you need to be in elimination. It's elimination. No more sugar. No more bread. No more pasta. No more cereals. No more rice. Nah. Really? You're a diabetic. You have an allergy to all those things. It's elimination. And you know, I used to tell my patients, it wasn't easy. I said, you're a diabetic. This is going to end well. This isn't going to end well. You're on the Titanic. And a lot of them had already hit the iceberg. I said, well, you want to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic? Give me some more time on this ship. I kind of enjoy it. People have left the first class. I'm going to go in there and enjoy first class. And the boat is sinking. You don't manage diabetes. You need to put it into remission. And it's food. It's food. It's not drugs. It's not drugs. It's food. It's a food disorder. They don't want to tell you that. Medicine couches things. Okay? In diabetes, in cancer, and other chronic diseases. They couch it. It's genetics. There's genetics. Genetics, you know what that's saying? Here's what they're saying. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And here's some drugs. You know, it's like you're an alcoholic. And they're saying, well, you know what? A little bit of alcohol is not going to hurt you. No. I'm an alcoholic. My name is, whatever. And guys, when you're a diabetic, you're a carboholic. It's as simple as that. And the key to fixing it, protein is the king. It's the king of the castle, and carbs are the dirty rascals. Is it that simple, Dr. Martin? Yep. There's nothing more simple in diabetes. There's nothing more simple. And 93% are on the broad road of diabetes. It's the broad road that leads to destruction. 93% of the population didn't get, from 2016 to 2022, it went from 88% of the population to 93. 93% of the population, including kids, have some form of metabolic syndrome. Yikes. And you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. Like, what's changed? What's changed? It's food. It's food. And people, let me show you how the food industry works, okay, in this way. It's incredible to me how they have lost their minds, their collective minds. The food industry tells you, we got this big problem, diabetes. They don't talk about it so much. Big Pharma does, because they got medications that they want people to use. But big food are not interested in your health. So they make up things like moderation. It's not your fault. You need some sugar. You need carbs. Your brain, you know, you want to hear something? Google it. Your brain needs carbohydrates. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Your brain doesn't need carbohydrates. Carbohydrates will destroy your brain. Why do you think we're living with so much Alzheimer's today? So much dementia? So much degenerative changes in the brain? Because people are fueling their brain with sugar. Your brain don't need sugar. If it needs sugar, it'll turn steak and make it sugar. But you see how the food industry, and it's a constant 24/7, 365 days a year indoctrination of the public. Diabetes can be managed. Diabetes can be managed. Diabetes can be managed. Eat in moderation. Eat your carbohydrates, because protein is bad for your kidneys. Have you heard that one? Protein will destroy your kidneys. No, that's not true. Never was and never will be. Protein don't destroy your kidneys. Protein doesn't give you kidney stones. But you see, they preach it. Why? They don't make money in the produce department. Big food, there's no money in it for them there. Big food wants you living in the middle aisles of your grocery store. They want you to live on, well, you need to listen to the other nonsense that's come out. You need to snack frequently. No, you don't. If you need to snack, you got trouble with your blood sugar, and the way to fix it, is to change your eating to protein and fat. The twin towers of diabetes. The Titanic. The ship that most of the population is on. They're on the ship. And they're there's a verse in the Bible, okay? It says this, okay? And, you know, it's kind of interesting. In the book of Ecclesiastes, it says, better to spend your time at funerals than at a party. And Solomon says, well, there's a reason for it. Because everyone's going to die, and it's better you learn lessons about that than going to a party and burying your head in the sand. That's what the world does, folks. It buries their head in the sand. I used to get patients come in. The best test for diabetes is a urine test, not a blood test. I like A1C, you guys know that. But when they used to come into my office, and one thing that you used to find really early detection that I really liked, I learned it from my father, was urine. I mean, for thousands of years, that's how they detected diabetes. Why? They could smell the sugar in the urine. The urine was sweet. You were spilling over sugar. That's what happens. Your body's smart. Your body your body goes, I can't take this amount of sugar. I'm going to spill it in the urine. You're peeing it out. I used to test that. And when I tested it, you wouldn't believe how many times a day people had no idea they were peeing out sugar. I said, you're effectively, I'm going to tell you something. You might not have the diagnosis because the diagnosis in medicine is blood sugar. Oh, my blood sugar is normal. It really isn't, because first of all, it's in the high end. And second of all, you're peeing sugar out in your urine. That is the most effective way. I used to tell, there's no real, look, we have a term called pre-diabetic. Okay? And who made that up, by the way? Medicine did. To put you on metformin. So that we control your blood sugars. Big pharma. Yeah, you're a pre, let's put you on metformin. And, that's the way they think. Instead of, you know what? You better get off the Titanic, man. You are in deep trouble. You better change your diet. But they don't do that. Because big food, they don't care. And big pharma know nothing about food. That's a huge overarching principle of how our system works. And guys, if you know that, you're way ahead of the curve. That's why red meat will be vilified. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked by when the world tells you stop eating red meat. Big Pharma wants you to stop eating red meat. So does big food. They don't want you to eat red meat. Why? Well, they don't. Medicine doesn't know anything about food. So what do they tell you? Better cut back. You better cut back on red meat, You're making uric acid. Cut back on red meat. No, it's sugar. It's insulin. It's food. It's not steak. It's not eggs. It's not cheese that makes you sick. It's crappy carbs. You and I know better. We know better. Steak is the #1 food on the planet. And if you're a diabetic, let me tell you this, steak is your friend. Steak is your friend. Cheese is your friend. Oh, Doc, I want variety. But where did variety come from? Okay, let's go back 100 years. People living on the farm and living a simple life. What did they eat? Even the flour was different. Now it's devoid of nutrients. They have to use enriched flour. Why? Because they took everything out. The way they mill it, it's different. Everything's different. It's devoid. That's why I'm a big friend of the farm. Let's get back to the farm. Let's get back to the farm. Now, you can't all live on the farm, I know that, but we can live on what they make. What's there, right? Steak. You don't have to be a vegetarian. Let the cow be a vegetarian. You be a steak eater. And when I say steak, I mean red meat. Because some people will come on and go, yeah, but Doc, steak is expensive. Let me say this, okay? And I understand all that. I really do. I understand finances and all that, okay? Believe you me, I do. The best investment you make that pays dividends is your health. Find somebody that's not healthy, that's very unwell, and they would spend almost any amount of money to get healthy again. Is that true or is that false? That's true. And people, because again, guys, remember the overarching principles. The overarching principles. Big food don't care about your health. If they make you unhealthy, I'm not saying they do it on purpose, but they surround addicts. It's like surrounding an addict, like a drug addict, with drugs. An alcoholic with alcohol. They surround you with it. It's in your kitchen. It's in your fridge. It's in your mind. It takes a huge investment. You want to be healthy? It's an investment. It's not easy. Not in this day and age. You're going to have to invest time, energy, and money. You're going to have to invest money in good food. You got to eat anyways. Invest in good food. It's worth it. It'll pay dividends. It pays interest. You know, put your money in the bank today. You're not going to get a lot of interest, guys. Sorry. They'll keep it safe for you, but you're not getting interest on it. But you put your health and invest in it, and it pays dividends. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my energy. And you know what? At the end of the day, you know what? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they didn't know me from Adam, okay? And they were saying, oh, you do podcasts. What do you talk about? You know, I said, okay, I talk about health. And it was, health. To them, they weren't thinking about health. So they said, is that popular? Is that popular? I said, you know what? The vast majority of people are very interested in their health. And if you're sick, now you're really interested in your health. How can I get better? But it starts, guys, in the kitchen. Health starts in the kitchen. Not in the hospital, not in drugs. It starts in the kitchen. Choices. Life is all about choices, isn't it? Hardest word in the English language, learn how to say no. That's not easy. No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to start today. I want to get healthy. I want to get off the Titanic. I've been rearranging the deck chairs. I've been wasting my time and I'm going downhill. Do you know how many people are in that boat, guys? 93% of the population. Look around, go through your cities, go through your towns, and 93% of the population is unwell. A lot of them don't know it. They don't know it because they're not looking for it and no one's telling them. No one's telling them. I'm not a diabetic. No doctors told me that. And the doctors want to talk about cholesterol, the very thing you need to be healthy. You know what? I just tell you, you want to give me a migraine headache? And this happened years ago, is when the diabetic associations of Canada and the United States hooked up with Big Pharma. You know what they did? If you're a diabetic, you know, obviously you need metformin, you need insulin, you need glyburide and all the other medications. But they did something else. You know what? Because diabetic, listen to their thinking. Because diabetics are more susceptible to heart disease, we recommend, here, Eat It came out from Big Pharma and the diabetic associations. They got together and they said, okay, if diabetics are more susceptible to heart disease, we recommend that everyone that's a diabetic be put on statin drugs. It happened. I used to have a radio show in those days. To say that upset me is an understatement. I had migraine for months. What? You're going to put diabetics on statin drugs to try and prevent heart disease? Oh. And remember the overarching principle of the day. Big food don't care. And the pharmaceutical industry, Big Pharma, know nothing about food. It's too bad. It's too bad. But that today, my friend, is it's how they operate. You better know that. Am I telling you to dismiss all medicine? Of course I'm not telling you that. Am I telling you to dismiss all medications? Not telling you that. I'm not. But the answer isn't medications. Well, especially for diabetes and metabolic syndrome. It's food, my friend. It's food. It's as simple as that. It's not complicated. The world wants to make it complicated, but it's not complicated. They want to keep you ignorant. They want to keep you ignorant of these things. Is it going to be easy to change? It's not easy to change. I didn't say it was easy to change. There's nothing that you will accomplish a major in your life that's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to say no. Not easy. You get a diabetic and tell them no more sugar, none. No more sugar. Yikes. That's not easy. Well, you got the disease because of sugar and crappy carbs. Now you can't have it anymore. If you want to put it to bed, if you want to put it into remission, you change your life. You need to change your habits. And it starts in the kitchen, my friend. And, some people get it. Some people are ostriches. They bury their head in the sand. They don't want to hear it. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear it. I used to get patients like that. I mean it. I don't want to hear it. I thought you would make it easy for me. Nothing in life is easy. Anything worth accomplishing isn't easy. Form habits. The reset is a habit-forming way to eat. You're eliminating sugar for 30 days. No sugar. Your body will thank you. It really will. Your body will give you a high five, but you got to get it there. It's going to be tough sledding. What's the overarching principle? You guys understand it? Big food. They don't care about your health. And big pharma know nothing about food. How do you like that? Some wisdom. I've been around a long time, guys. Okay? I've been watching for a long time. I've been observing for a long time. And I've been screaming like John the Baptist for a long time. I really have. Consistent about it. Okay, I just took a deep breath. And you guys are unreal. Okay? Do you know that tomorrow, apparently, my son told me this yesterday, we are going to hit, it'll happen tomorrow, we are going to hit 1 million download on the Doctor Is In podcast, 1 million. That makes it the biggest podcast in Canada for health. 1 million downloads. Now, can I thank you for that? I got to thank you guys. I got to thank my loyal followers. I'm giving you a high five. You guys have done it. You're spreading the word. And it's much appreciated. All my talking's not in vain. It's controversial, but it's not in vain. Okay? Okay, so what's tomorrow? Question and answer. It's not too late. Send your questions in. Try and answer all your questions tomorrow. Okay? We love you guys. And I don't say that lightly. I mean it. Talk to you soon.